Hi everyone. So this is the first time that I'm doing this video in that kind of format. So let me know what you think after you watch it. Hopefully you will like it. So let's get on to it. Okay. So today's topic is how to make the right decision. And I'm going to provide you with some practical steps so you can try them out right away and see how they work for you. Okay. If you have emotional authority, and that's you see it here, hopefully you can see it. There you go. That's the emotional center. This video is for you. And my intention for you is to get clarity on how to make better decisions, or rather decisions that are truly aligned with you. So that's my little humble me. All right, my name is Barchi. I'm a trauma informed transformational coach. I know there's a lot of words, but what I do, I help people break through their limiting beliefs and live a life of freedom. And by that, for me, freedom is when we are free of all the mental restrictions and fear. That's where our freedom lies. It's everything is just in our heads. And as you know, I also happen to like human design, and it actually really helps me understand my clients better, and also, yeah, getting to work with them in a deeper way. Okay, enough about me. Let's get on with it. Okay, so this is our agenda for today. So, first, we'll just touch on emotional authority basics, and then we'll do some exercises because, in reality, without practical implication, you don't really, you can't really apply all the knowledge. We really need to practice. So, I hope that you'll like that part. And then we'll also have a little meditation, because for emotional authority it's really important that we are in a regulated or a peaceful state of mind. Okay, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Okay, and if you haven't, I would really invite you to grab a pen and paper, so yeah, we can continue. Okay, have them. Let's go. Emotional authority. Okay. So, yeah, as you might have experienced numerous times, it's best to avoid making decisions from the emotional charge high or low points, as this usually results in regret. I don't know about you, but every time I um, would rush, to make a important decision, it was never a good choice. So yeah, and I also invite you to watch a video on emotional authority, if you haven't already, because you'll find more useful information about the subject there. Okay, and for emotional authority, um, the depth is usually not accessible to you in immediacy of the present moment. However, I would say that for people who have defined spleen center, when you are in a regulated or calm emotional space, that isn't always the case, because spleen often does provide a quick insight or intuitive insight. So be mindful of that. For me, it definitely makes a change. Okay, and I would also like to know what's your experience, if you don't mind sharing, if you do have a defined spleen center. Okay, a little word on emotions. I know that emotions sometimes have a bad rap, but firstly, we are not our emotions. However, they are necessary because they're our drive and they're our fuel, and they carry like important information for us. They make us feel alive. And emotions aren't good nor bad. They're just here to inform us. And most importantly, to flow. That's really important. So ideally, we would be an observer and we wouldn't get caught up in drama. So that means feel all the feels and releasing them. And I know that's not the easiest thing to do, so that might be a subject for another day. Okay, so let's go and check our first set of exercises. Okay, so now I'm really inviting you to pull out your notebook and follow along. And I have a few questions for you about your decisions, obviously. Okay, so question number one: what are some of the easiest decisions that you've made? So I want you to think about decisions which were or are super easy for you to make and they really feel effortless. Just you can just make them, on a go, just super easy. And pause this video and really make a list. And I'll also share one of my examples with you. So for me, one of the easiest decisions to make is to figure out what I want to eat next. Yeah, maybe it's not the easiest decision for others or for I don't know. I don't want to assume so, but what I usually do is I connect with my body and then I just imagine eating a certain food that comes to my mind. And it's really important that not only does it taste good, it also has to feel good in my body. It's almost like, does my body wants to invite this food in or not? And yeah, and all I need to do is really be present and fully in tune with that food. And what also helps is that my sense is taste. So this is also how, in regards to food, it helps. So maybe check it out what your sense is, and that might also help you how to make decisions better. But I won't go into that more detail in this video. Okay. So I wanted to share that one because it's for me that's a very straightforward process. And yeah, as I said, I usually determine which food I would like to eat very quickly. So if you haven't already, pause this video and really make a list what works for you. Okay. All right, let's move on to the second question. So now I would like you to write down which decisions are hard for you to make. Like, think about all the recent or past decisions that were really hard for you. And again, feel free to pause this video and just write them all down. Okay. Question number 3. What would you say is the difference between the two? So that's really important. I'm inviting you again to pause this video after I explain and really examine how these two differ and also if you see some commonalities. So, see what emotions are present in both cases that fears might, or sorry, and also what fears might or might not be there. What does your mind have to say? What stops the flow? If there is flow, and how, just observing the flow and see where your mind is playing tricks on you, or rather, what is preventing or has been preventing you from making a decision if that is something that you are struggling with. So this exercise is really great to have more self-awareness. So I really recommend you to do it if in case you are curious about yourself. No pressure. Okay. So I assume you're done now. There was some pause and reflect. And I'm curious what came up for you. And now I'm inviting you to go even deeper. So let's switch gears. I would like you to take two pieces of paper. And on the first one, think about a decision that you made and that you were really pleased about. It turned out really well. Just think about it and write it down. And I would like you to be aware of how did it feel in your body? What was the energy like? Which emotions were present? Really tune into the experience. Like, how was it? You can also zone out and observe yourself as you are a third person. And I'm also curious, what was the final piece that made you approve of this decision? What kind of push you over the edge to really go for it? Maybe before you were hesitant but then something happened and you were like, I'm going for it. So I'm really curious if you remember and if that was the case. And just again, you're in charge of this video. Pause it whenever you feel the need and write it all down. And we can go on. So, on another piece of paper, I would like you to think about a decision that didn't work. I know these are not pleasant, but they can often hold so much wisdom. So, I really encourage you to do that. You can also name a few if you would like, and you don't have to name the most traumatic ones, but maybe just some that pop up in your mind as we go. And again, I would just like you to think about the process of making a decision prior to being made. Um, and again, how did that feel in your body? What was the energy like? Which emotions were present? And were there any fears or stories going through your mind? And yeah, please, again, just pause this video and write it all down. Okay. Now let's look at both pieces and see if we can find an answer to what are some differences between the decisions that turned out great and the ones that didn't. So, we would like to see what feelings were present or absent. Also, again, emotions, body sensation, thoughts. I'm also curious if you notice any red flags, perhaps. I would really like to hear about those in the comments. Yeah, if you can just maybe um, do some comparison and see what is the main difference. Maybe you'll get a new insight, something that you might never seen before. So yeah, I'm curious. And I'm also curious, let's just see. Not yet. Okay, and I would also like to know, just making all this so far, so coming to this point right now, I'm just curious, do you have more insight or understanding on, yeah, what is best for you? What is the best way for you to make an aligned decision? So, are there any patterns or have you noticed something? So, which are crucial factors at play for you? Okay. So, and we would like to test that, right? So, I will invite you to a short meditation first. And if that's something that you don't particularly enjoy, I invite you to do whatever exercise makes you feel grounded, and it can be as simple as just taking a few deep breaths and doing some movement. And then instead of listening to this short guided meditation, just skip to the next part where I have another exercise for you, but really make sure that you feel that you have this sense of being grounded, and feeling regulated. Okay. And for those of you who love meditation, I'm inviting you to close your eyes. If that feels comfortable, I'll just take a sip of water. Okay, that's better. And if closing your eyes isn't something that you feel comfortable, you can always have them open with a soft gaze. So I hope that you're also sitting in a comfortable position, like sit down or lay down, whatever feels right, with your feet on the floor. And just take a few deep breaths where you inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Okay. Imagine that you are breathing in life and light. So just keep on breathing naturally. And as you're breathing out, imagine you're releasing all the stress you don't need at this very moment. Now I invite you to scan your body from head to toe and just feel if there is any tension. Just imagine that it leaves your body now. And with every breath, you relax more and more, knowing that there is always a part of you which is always awake and looking after you. I invite you to connect to Mother Earth. First, feel the support under your feet and where your body touches the surface. You can now imagine how you grow roots deep down into the earth and really feel her loving energy. Just allow it to enter your body. Just soak it all in and let it bring you nourishment that you might need or desire. And you can ask for anything that you feel you need and just be open to receive it. Now just stay a couple of moments in this energy. And then when you're ready, open your eyes and you can move your body a little and just really feel how grounded you are and present, and maybe your mind feels lighter and more relaxed. I hope so. Okay, let's finish off with the final exercise. Are you ready? Okay, so that's the big one. So I will ask you to come up with a question that you need an answer for. And I'm inviting you to start with something that doesn't have a huge emotional attachment. So start with something it might be important, but it doesn't have to be, like a life or death situation. However, whatever comes to mind, choose that. You don't need to second guess it. Just allow it. Okay. So when you have that question that you would like an answer to, see, sense, or feel that question someone around you. Just imagine this question is all around you, or connect with it. And I'm curious, how does your body react to the question? How does your body feel? And if you were completely detached from the outcome and operate out of love, what would you choose? So just imagine no attachment. How would you choose? And now also connect with that knowledge that you have on how you made a good decision in the past. So think back in that exercises that we did and just see if you can apply some of that you learned in this decision making right now. And as you're doing that, observe what is happening for you in your body, in your mind. How are your emotions? And allow yourself to get an answer and allow yourself not to get an answer. Just release any pressure or control that you might be feeling and just allow and see what happens. Okay. And to do that, I feel that you will also need to pause this video and really tap into this exercise. So yeah, I would really like you to spend some time with it. You don't have to rush. And maybe what will happen is if you don't have an answer right now, you might go for a walk and then the answer might come later, or maybe you'll have a dream about it. Just be really open. If it doesn't happen right now, it's not a problem. Don't force it, allow it. That's really important, because sometimes the answer is not here. It's just, as if the answer is not here, it's just because the time is not right. So trust it that you will get the answer. You just be open to it and yeah, allow it. Okay. And I would also like to love to hear about your experience. How was this exercise for you? How did it go? And if you encountered any setbacks, please let me know. Yeah, I would really like to know how it went. Okay. And maybe you'll inspire someone else to, or give someone else some ideas. So yeah, please don't hold yourself back, okay? And to end this exercise, I just have a few suggestions that might serve you. And that's know your fears. I often go to this question: is this decision made out of fear or out of love? And honestly, not all my decisions can be made out of love, because fear is just so prevalent in all our lives, and sometimes I do make decisions out of fear, and I do also regret them. But it's really, really important that I am gentle with myself and that I'm kind with myself, and also that you are kind with yourself when that happens, because you know there is no perfect decisions. We cannot operate out of love all the time, but we are always doing our best, and I truly believe that. So be kind to yourself. That's really important. Okay. And also, I wanted to say that if you know what your key fears are, which and your key fears reside in your spleen, then you will have more awareness of, when they're popping up, you'll be like, oh, okay, so maybe my fears are activated, but that doesn't mean that, decision is wrong, or it's something is off here. But it's really important that we have awareness of our fears, because that's why it's easier to make a decision. Because if there is no awareness, then we are just we are running on automatic pilot. And we don't want that. Okay. I also wanted to share just a quick word on how to work with emotions. So the first one is snap out of it by simple exercises. And it's really important to know that we don't have to be in an emotion forever. That's really important. Sometimes it's really hard to get out, but we don't have to stay. But it's important that we do acknowledge it. Without acknowledging, if we just push it away, it can stay. It can, what we persist, or what do you say? No, it's the other way. What we resist, it persists. And it's so true for emotions. Okay. So here, with a simple exercise, what you can do is you can touch certain things, you can look around and really engage your body. You engage all your senses to really ground yourself, to really be present. And as I said, connect with your body and just let it be. Don't fight the feeling. Don't fight it. It's here for you because it wants to tell you something. Either maybe it wants to protect you. It has a message. There is something in this feeling for you. So just allow it. Don't judge it. Allow it and release it. And I know that's super easy to say, but it really comes down to that. Yeah. Okay. And it's also important that we know what feeling of freedom and trust feel like. So tap into that feeling of trust. I know that you've also experienced trust at some point, obviously, and that's a really cool feeling to have. So maybe just connect with that feeling of trust so that you can really, instead of being in that fearful vibration, you can kind of I don't want to say raise, but just kind of tap into vibration of trust and freedom, or whatever works for you, which you will really shift your perspective. And the last one is, how can you detach from the outcome? And that's so important. And here, trust plays a crucial role, because if we are not detached, that means that we don't trust. And when we don't trust, we try to control things. And when we control is when we can make maybe not the best decisions, and we might even interfere with the process. And imagine that, for example, analogy of with grass. So you probably trust that grass will grow. Obviously, we need to water it, or rain will, will water it. But it's important. So this is the action part. However, we still trust that it will grow, right? We don't pull, like these pieces, I don't know how you call those, of grass, and just like, okay, grow, you have to grow, I have to help you. No, we know what our part is, and our part might be just watering, and that's it. And here is also, and then just allowing to happen. And it's really important that here we know what our part is, what is the action step, and then the rest we just let it go. Okay, I'm totally going into that subject, I didn't want to, so let's go back. I just wanted to share, like, what are some of the tips for you to, when you notice that you are in this emotional roller coaster, or just this a huge emotional, feeling, when it overflows your system and you feel like, oh my gosh, I just got a bag, paper bag. Sometimes I feel like when emotion overflows me, I have a paper bag over my eyes, over my head, and I can't see anything. I'm totally immersed in that feeling. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just waiting for it to dissipate. So I don't know how is it with you, but yeah. Okay. All right. So if you made it that far, thank you so much for being here with me. It was such a joy. Honestly, it was also so interesting for me to try this new format. And again, let me know if that worked for you. How did you find it? How did you like it? And how was your process? If you have any questions, I'm eager to hear about it. And lastly, if you want to like or subscribe, if you feel called to. And again, thank you so much for being here and for doing this exercise for yourself. Yeah, that's you're showing up for you, and that's important. Okay, take care. See you later, and thank you. Bye bye.